Wow, that last Fakemon video kinda bombed, so let's do it again! But instead of that Lilo and Stitch Fakemon sequel I promised, how about we try something more on brand? We're gonna turn Kirby Bosses into Pokémon. Kirby's the name you should know after all. So let's look at 3 of the most iconic Kirby bosses, King Dedede, Dyna Blade, and Zero, and see how we can turn them into believable Pokémon. Just like last time, I won't be simply taking these characters and drawing them in the Pokémon art style. Instead, I'll be making Pokémon who are clear homages based on them, but are still their own individuals with similar enough backstories. And I'm taking Gen 2 as my reference for things like art and learn sets. First up is King Dedede. Introduced in 1992 on Kirby's Dream Land, King Dedede is Kirby's best frenemy, starting out as a tyrannical ruler who stole the kingdom's food, to being a true hero who helps Kirby save the universe without question. For this, Fakemon I think will hone in on the penguin aspects. While it seems boring, I think I will make the Pokemon Ice type, but that way we can answer the hammer. I don't want to give this Pokemon an actual hammer, but with the Fakemon being Ice type, we can have the hammer be made of ice. I started with the basic shape of a penguin. My main references were Psyduck and Delibird. I chose to have the robe be made of snow, and instead of a hammer I went with an ice club. After making the club I needed something for the crown, and then it hit me. Never melt ice on the Fakemon's head. After having a sketch I was happy with, I started with the line art. I made some fixes like moving the robe back and making the robes have black outlines, more in line with the classic Sugimori art style. I've also changed my brushes since last time. Instead of the jitter brush that was frankly annoying to work with, I now have a pen brush and add a texture to the watercolor brush. But with that, it's time to meet Pen Coolish.
Pen Coolish, the Emperor Pokemon. A self-proclaimed king, Pen Coolish will try to order others around, though not many care to listen.
Pen Coolish is an ice fighting type. Ice for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but also fighting since Pen Coolish can really hit hard with that club. Pen Coolish has a catch rate of 45, base 50 friendship, is in the field egg group, and has a split gender ratio. Pen Coolish is on the slow bulky side. Yes, I did the meme with slow bulky ice types. But that attack of 110 will be important when we get onto the learn sets. Finally are the abilities. Pen Coolish has Rivalry, representing King Dedede's rivalry with Kirby. Hustle, since King Dedede can swing his hammer so fast that he makes himself dizzy. And finally, Sheer Force for hidden ability. Like I said, Pen Coolish can hit really hard, and Sheer Force can play with Pen Coolish's learn set. Now for the learn set, there's a few flying moves alongside Stab, referencing King Dedede's flight ability. And if you look closely at the level up moves, you may notice a move called Frozen Hammer. Well, Frozen Hammer is Pen Coolish's signature move, an 80 base power physical ice move that can freeze or flinch the target. Now for the shiny. The ice and snow stay the exact same color, but I darkened the blue feathers and made the yellow pink, referencing King Dedede's best frenemy Kirby. Finally is the name. Pen comes from penguin of course, and Coolish not only has cool in it but also sounds like foolish. Pen Coolish may not garner too much respect, but those who follow them are surprised by their genuine leadership skills. Pen Coolish can be pretty gluttonous, but when they see their subjects being mistreated, they will not hesitate to step in. A king who has truly earned the crown if you ask me. For our next Fakemon, we'll be doing Dyna Blade. Dyna Blade was introduced in Kirby Superstar in 1996. She started as an enemy who stole a bunch of food, sound familiar? But became an ally shortly after. The reason she stole all that food was to feed her babies, who Kirby helps feed and teach to fly. For this, Fakemon will stay pretty faithful. Dyna Blade has a design that would already work with Pokemon. We'll just have to simplify some aspects. Now, I'll be honest, I struggled with this. The body was easy enough, but it was the wings I could just not do. I barely draw birds and wings, so the wings especially were a real problem. I didn't know whether I wanted to make them feathery or more sharp. I had a sketch that I thought I was gonna be happy with, but after looking at it longer, I just wasn't happy with it. So I decided to cheat a little bit by sketching over Dyna Blade sprite. With a better idea of how to do wings, I was able to create a Fakemon sketch I was more happy with. I changed and simplified Dyna Blade's design a bit, to a way that felt more Pokemon to me. But with that, it's time to meet Dyna Blade. Yeah, sorry, the name's just too perfect. Couldn't think of a better one if I tried.
Dyna Blade, the protective Pokemon. Dyna Blade will single-handedly chop down entire forests, all in an effort to feed their young.
Dyna Blade is a flying steel type, flying for obvious reasons, and steel because of how Dyna Blade has really sharp wings and talons. I know this doesn't look like a conventional steel type, but for other reasons I feel like it works really well. Dyna Blade has a catch rate of 45, base friendship of 35, is in the flying and monster egg groups, and has a higher female ratio than male ratio. Dyna Blade is a lot faster than most steel types, and has a large attack stat one would expect. For abilities, Dyna Blade has Intimidate and Hypercutter. Intimidate because, well, Dyna Blade is pretty intimidating, and Hypercutter because of Dyna Blade's sharp wings. And for hidden ability, Dyna Blade has Flash Fire. This will make more sense when we get to the Learn set, but with Flash Fire, Dyna Blade is only weak to electric moves. Now for the Learn set. You of course have a lot of stab here, but you may notice that there's a lot of fire moves as well. Ember at level 14 and Fire Blast at level 58. In Dyna Blade's boss battle, she'll often shoot fireballs, so I decided to reference that with the Learn set and Flash Fire. Now for the shiny. With a red Pokemon, you gotta go for the blue shiny. The gold became silver and the tip of the wings became greenish. Finally is the name. Obviously, I did not come up with the original name, so I couldn't tell you the exact reason for Dyna Blade being named as such, but if I were to guess, it probably comes from Dynamic, with how Dyna Blade flies really fast and elegantly, and Blade with Dyna Blade's sharp wings. Dyna Blade are very caring and nurturing towards their young. If you accidentally come across a Dyna Blade nest, your only option is to run the other way and hope their mom didn't see you. If she did, then close your eyes and hope it's done swiftly. Certainly a mother you do not want to mess with. Now for the final Fakemon of the video, based on Zero. Zero made their first appearance in Kirby's Dream Land 3 in 1996. Zero is the recurring villain of the Kirby franchise. Take a look at almost any final boss in a Kirby game, and chances are they'll have something to do with Zero. Now, quick lesson on Kirby lore. Zero originated from something called Void. Void is something like a god in the Kirbyverse. If Void comes in contact with negative emotions, they'll be reincarnated into a form that will spread negativity. But if they come in contact with positive emotions, they'll be reincarnated into a form that will spread positivity. We learn about Void in Kirby Star Allies, and in the boss battle against a form of Void, we get the implication that both Zero and Kirby came from Void. So what if the Zero Fakemon was also a Kirby Fakemon? I started with a circle with one eye. I truly am stretching creativity today, aren't I? I originally wanted the Fakemon to have a face pattern and a halo, but would quickly discard those. I also originally had more head spikes and different wings, but would later simplify them on the Fakemon. It didn't take long for me to come up with a pretty simple design. Simple, yet looks like a combo of Zero and Kirby. But with that, it's time to meet Twin Popo.
Twin Popo, the potential Pokemon. Not much is known about Twin Popo. They will spread as much joy or hatred as they're shown.
Twin Popo is a dark fairy type, representing both Zero and Kirby at once, and how easily influenced this Fakemon can be. Twin Popo has a low catch rate of 3, base friendship of 35, is in the undiscovered egg group, and is genderless. If a few of those didn't give it away already, then Twin Popo's stat spread will. Twin Popo is a mythical Pokemon, and like mythical Pokemon before them, Twin Popo has a base stat total of 600 with each stat having base 100. Then for abilities, Twin Popo has Serene Grace and Protean. Serene Grace for a boosted chance to bring negative effects. And for hidden ability, Twin Popo has Protean, allowing Twin Popo to change their type based on their moves, referencing Kirby's signature copy ability. Now for the Learn set. Twin Popo learns a lot of stab, of course, which does include fairy moves I retroactively added. There's also moves that could reference Kirby's copy ability like Mimic, plus explosive moves since that's how a lot of Kirby bosses go down. And you may have noticed that Twin Popo can learn every TM and HM. They are partly based on Kirby after all. Now for the shiny. Since Twin Popo was made to be pink like Kirby, it only made sense to remove the saturation for the shiny. This way Twin Popo shiny looks great to be more similar to Zero. Finally is the name. Fun fact, the first Kirby game was originally going to be named Twinkle Popo, with Kirby's original name being Popopo, so I decided to reference that with Twin Popo's name. Twin Popo isn't inherently evil or good. They visit Earth once every few years, and after seeing how people act towards them and each other, they will return to sender with 10 times as much force. If you met a Twin Popo, would they be shown kindness or hatred? And there you have it, folks. 3 Fakemon based on 3 of the most iconic Kirby bosses. Pencoolish based on King Dedede. Dyna Blade based on, well, Dyna Blade. And Twin Popo based on a combination of Zero, Kirby, and Void. Which of these Fakemon was your favorite? Would you want to see more Fakemon based on a Kirby boss? How about a Fakemon based on some other franchise? Let me know in the comments below. Have a nice day, you wonderful people.